moved to Nigeria briefly, and I found myself in the financial services sector. And I was working, and I had a great job with all the perks, the car, driver, and everything you can. And I thought it was really good. But I started to think at some point that I needed a bit more than this, because I realized that I was working for someone, and as long as you're working for someone, there will be a time that whoever hired you, somebody will fire you at some point, or will terminate you, or terminate the role, or whatever happens. So I wanted something that I myself could own. I also realized that starting a business, jump starting it, you're going to have challenges. I wanted something that I could build from the ground up. So the concept of Shamemoney just came to me. It just literally came to me. I realized that I looked at my hobbies, because that's what you're going to start with when you're starting the business. You're looking at what you are passionate about, because when you're passionate about something, you can back it up. All right. And I was passionate about eating healthy, specifically fruit. I love fruit. I'm one of those people that I can live on fruit for days without eating anything else. I'm a fruit junkie. So I decided to start a smoothie business. I realized that it would not be wise for me to get a store somewhere or get staff immediately. The time it will take me, the resources it will take me, I probably couldn't afford it. So I decided that since and then I've been procrastinating for months, all I did was talk about what I wanted to do. I never did it. So I was constantly talking to people about it. I want to do this, I want to do that, but I actually never really got myself together to doing it. And then one day, I became frustrated with a dream, like a lot of people are. You want to do something, you feel like your spouse is not helping you, or your family or your friends are not helping you, and you blame everybody else but yourself. And then it came to me one day that, why don't you just start? I'm thinking, but I need a staff, I need to get supplies, I need to get machineries, I need to get a store. And it occurred to me that no, you don't need to get any of those things. Just start from exactly where you are. Start from where you are. And I thought, okay, what do I need to start? I just needed a smoothie machine. I had that at home because, I love making smoothies and juicing fruits anyway. So I just went down the street. I bought the fruits that I normally buy. I made it turn into juice and smoothie. I bottled it and I took it to work. And and that was where I crossed the barrier of shame, because here I am, an assistant vice president of a top financial institution, selling smoothies for $1 or $2, or even lower sometimes. And I knew that one of the things I needed to get rid of was shame. If I was going to build a business, I had to get rid of the shame. I had to get rid of what people were thinking about me. I had to get rid of what I thought about myself, most importantly. I had to get rid of the perception. I had to get rid of a lot of mindset. So I decided that I started to take it to work, but getting rid of it in your head and transcribing it to your actions can be quite challenging. Imagine you, an AVP, carrying bags of smoothies to sell to junior staffers, to colleagues. And when I started, the people were like, first of all, the question was like, is she okay? Surely, is she looking for extra $2? Not somebody in that position. And but anyway, I had to change that mind. I said, you know what, so the first one I gifted it for free, and then I started selling it. And the one, what are the key things I realized very quickly is that people were not willing to pay. They were like, oh, it's just her, she can afford, just give it to me for free. And then something said to me, this is a business. You have to take it as a business, in as much as you don't let people, if you don't take it seriously, you gift it out for free, you don't pursue people for the money, you don't issue out info, you don't take it seriously, people will not take your business seriously. And then I started to take it seriously. And then I started to work on packaging. All right. I bought bottles, I bought the caps. I got somebody to help me design the labels. I started little by little. And I think that one of the worst things was actually going around to get my money back, because people didn't want to pay. They felt, oh, it's just her, surely you can get it for free. But I had to put all those things together, and all of a sudden I started to make money, little by little. Kenyans call it kidogo kidogo. Little by little, the money started to come in. Trickles. I realized that when I removed my cost of goods, I had some profit, but I didn't spend the profit. I put it back in the business, and all of a sudden I was able to save enough money to register the company, and I started to make money. And then true enough, 3 years, the exact date when I started, I was laid off. All right. Whatever reason it was, whether I was, streaming down, it doesn't matter, I was let go. And that was one of the best decisions that was made on my behalf, because maybe I myself would never have gone, because I'll be thinking, oh, I need this job, blah, blah, blah. And I did need the job. I mean, it was a great job. It was prestigious, great income. And so I decided that, so the money that I saved from Shamemoney, together with all my savings, I started Money Stewards. Now, the shame, I didn't go, I decided not to go ahead with the smoothies because I wasn't in the country at the time. I'd already created a healthy client base, and wherever I was, it wasn't the model of business that I needed to. But the experience, oh my God, was priceless. The experience from my little Shamemoney business was just amazing. And with that, I started Money Stewards. And with Money Stewards, when I started, again, starting from scratch, you're putting together content, you're putting together a concept, you're putting together a product, a service. You are confused, you're all over the place. I started it anyway. And so the concept of Shamemoney is in several folds. Number one, do not be ashamed of what you're doing. The whole idea is to say, you know what, I am a lawyer, I'm selling smoothies. It is my Shamemoney product, okay? I know some of you are ashamed of me, or even sometimes I'll be ashamed of selling the product, but regardless, I'm going to go ahead anyway. I'm going to go ahead in spite of the shame, in spite of the social status people have ascribed to me. I'm going to go ahead, And there's a saying that says, shit money does not smell, all right? When it comes to you, as long as it's legitimate, you'll be shocked how very quickly you build the concept of Shamemoney. Now, it doesn't have to remain Shamemoney forever. It is just a starting process, all right? It's a process that emboldens you you're starting something, it's gonna give you that oomph that you need. And number two, I realized that when you name it, all right, when you call it as is, you've called yourself out on it. Look, it's shame money. You say, people, look, it's shame money. It's the money you make shamefully. I think you kind of demystify the whole thing and you remove the shame away from it, So I said to people, look, it's my shame money. Till today, even though I have, and there's something I always say, you name it, all right, you shame it, and you eventually fame it. And that's exactly what I did. I started with my shame money. I took the experiences and the savings from it, and I famed it. And today, Money Stewards is a global investment firm. We are doing huge amounts of transactions on a monthly basis. This month alone, in the first 2 weeks of this month, we did transactions worth just under $5 million. All right. So but everything started from the concept of shame money. There's some money that you do not leave on the table. Do not be afraid. All right. Don't be afraid. Don't be worried about what people say. I say to people will talk to you, talk about you, but the moment you become successful, they want to associate with you. All right. And then people are like, but no, I knew you when you were selling smoothies. Yes, that was then. This is now. Now we're selling properties in the United States. We're selling properties, six-figure properties in the United States, and we're doing, and yes, like every stage of any business, it comes with several challenges, but we are taking it one step at a time. Okay, so that's the whole concept of shame money. All right. I say to people, whatever you're doing right now, okay, every business needs a cash flow. And I realized that having run my own business, every single business, you need cash flow. All right. Shame money can act as a cash flow. That's number one. That's an advantage of shame money. All right. So I can see I have a legal colleague here who's joined us today. I'm a lawyer myself. All right. So we know challenges with clients paying. I have a realtor here as well. I'm in the property selling business. Sometimes it takes months or even years for a transaction to close. You're waiting for this big money. In the meantime, you need a cash flow business that will augment those expenses. Shame money can act as that. All right. You have a job. Let's say it's not a business. You have a job. All right. And we know how in Africa, how how very little they pay scientists. You know, I've got a pharmacist here. Whatever she's earning in Nigeria, you can't compare to what she was earning in London. What I was earning in Nigeria, I can't compare to what I was earning in London. You know, you have a job, all right? Yes, that's a full-time job. It's prestigious, people know, but you and I both know that it's not enough to pay your expenses. This is where money comes into play, all right? I know of a lawyer in, actually in Kenya. Good law, she goes to court, very prestigious, but on weekends, you know what she does? She sells secondhand clothes in the market. And funny enough, she has made more money selling secondhand clothes in the market than she has in her legal profession. That's the beauty about Shamemoney. You can go on to make, so again, the Bible says, do not despise the day of small beginnings. Whatever your hands find to do it. When you're starting a business for the first time, okay, I always say to people, try as many things as you possibly can. You can't just chase your passion, because your passion might not be as rewarding as you think it will be, especially in the beginning, all right? Do as many things as you can. Try different things, see what works. And whatever works, there comes a time that naturally you're going to start to streamline, all right? I caution people against having several sources of income. I mean, some people say, oh, I have 10 sources of income. Be careful of that. That's not really, you're going to be all over the place, expending yourself. At some point, you need to contract, not just keep expending. But you have your job, you have Shamemoney. You have your business, you have Shamemoney. You have your main source of income, you have Shamemoney. Shamemoney is that little side hustle, that gig, you know. And why do I call it? Some people say to me, oh, why are you even calling it Shamemoney? I'm not ashamed of it. I say, fantastic, because I know psychologically, if you name something and you understand the concept of it, okay, you're bold and you're able to forge ahead and actually go ahead and do great things. And we're waiting for our special guest who's going to join us soon. I'm going to share with you a personal story of how the whole concept even started. And that's about, because it started from my mom, all right? My mom is my ultimate all-time shame hero. And so my mom was lived in Ondo State, which is is it southeast or southwest? Nigerians correct me. Anyway, she lived in Ondo State and she got married to my father. She moved to Lagos State. She was teaching when she was, before she got married. And then she moved to Lagos when she got married. And my father was a junior, probably a senior officer in customs then. But, like any civil servant, he was earning a salary. And things were not exactly perfect. They had their own financial challenges. And my mom was like, she'd had about 3-4 kids then. She was like, no, I'm not sure I really want to just stay at home and just be taking care of kids. That's great, but I want more. And then she had been worried, she had been praying, she had been thinking about what to do. And then, she just left it to God. She left it to God. One day she went to the market. She bought two dresses for my sister who wanted to have a birthday, okay? She just saw this is made in American dresses. And in those days in the 80s, made in American dresses were everything in Nigeria. So she saw some dresses and then she liked it and then she bought it. And then on her way home, she just thought this dresses seem so beautiful and undervalued. And she said, okay, maybe, who knows, maybe I could just give it to a friend who's going to pay me back a little bit more. And then she branched on a friend's place and she showed the dress to a friend. And the friend looked at the dresses and said, oh, these are beautiful dresses. And asked my mom how much she paid for it. My mom doubled the amount she had paid for it. And please mute yourself. And doubled the amount she had paid for it. And she doubled the amount she paid for it. And the lady said, oh, not a problem. I'm going to pay you. The money, the lady took the money and, sorry, 1 second. So she doubled the money and the lady paid her immediately. And she was so shocked and so super excited that, my goodness, that in an hour, she had made so much money. She was super happy. And guess what happened? And she was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Maybe luck will repeat itself. She went back to the market, bought some, this time around she could buy 4 dresses because she had made 100% gain. She bought 4 dresses. This time around, she went through to a friend who had a store, showed her the dresses. The woman loved the dresses. And this time around, she didn't make 100%. She added a bit more. And the woman took the dresses and paid her instantly. As I said, wow. And then she repeated that process with the same lady. And the lady said, look, wherever you're getting these dresses, bring more, And that was how my mom was able to, she placed an order and she was able to fill the entire order just with 2 dresses. And it was amazing. She was super excited. She was like, what if she applied herself? She'll probably even do more. And then that was how Shamemoney started. My mom decided that, what else is in need? She started to sell shoes and bags and cosmetics, and she would literally go around the market. She started very humbly. She put her stuff in there's something we call Ghana must go in Nigeria. It's like a bag of it's a bag made of some special materials, very light, where you can put a lot of stuff, just like a traveling bag, but the material is different. And my mom will fill up that bag weekends, during the daytime. She'll take a bus and she'll go to the markets to sell this product, knocking on people's offices. And that's how she started. One day, she met a gentleman. She was showing the gentleman her goods. And the man said, I'm not interested in what you're selling. I already have it. And she was like, okay, fine. When you're interested, please call me. I'll be interested in selling to you. The man said, no, I won't be. Anyway, where's your store? And my mom said, I don't have a store. And he was like, you don't have a store? And I see you here every day. She said, yes, she has to take a bus or taxis when she can afford to sell her goods. And the man said, whoa, you mean they're hardworking people like you? Okay, there's an empty store here, you can take it. And that's how my mom had a store. To cut the long story short, somebody who was going around in buses with her goods started going around in taxis with her goods and ultimately started to own a store. She was able to own 2 stores, 3 stores, saved enough money. She bought her first land in her home state, built a house, took her 7 years to build the first house. And then the rest, they say, is history. This one worked so hard with the support of my father, all of us. She sent us outside the country to study. And she made a vow. She said, look, I never studied outside the country. All my kids will. And I am a proud product of Shamemoney, I always say to people. And that has endeared me to people that are starting their business, people that are starting from nothing, people that are ashamed to start something they're passionate about because of what people say. Please today, whatever people say about your business or your service, do not even listen. I can't tell you scores of people that have started even on the roadside, selling food on the roadside, whether it's puff puff, whether it's mandazi, whatever it is they're selling on the roadside. They've sold it and bought themselves a store, and they've gone ahead to grow the business into a massive business and even paid the salaries of people that were laughing at them when they got started. My mom ended up being a major employer of labor, even employing her friends that were laughing at her when she started, calling her market woman. Today, she's employed a lot of them, provided housing and cars and so many other stuff for them. So please, the moral of the story, do not, even if you're ashamed, do it shamefully. Don't let people decide your destiny for you. Decide your own destiny yourself, okay? Make and chant your own course yourself, all right? It is your decision. It is your business at the end of the day. Today, yes, I am running Money Stewards. I'm grateful to God. We have employed people over the years. We're doing massive projects. But one thing I want to also tell you is that I want to demystify this so-called big business. Big business is not a big deal. We're talking in the group I'm part of about a major company, a major pharmaceutical company who borrowed money and they're in court and it's all a hot mess. And it occurred to me, if I look at that and compare with my own journey, I wanted to build an estate in Houston, all right? So I've been doing a number of projects and I thought it was time for me to scale up. as any startup would want. So I thought it was time for me to scale up. And what did I do? I ended up borrowing a huge amount of money, and the project went south. And now we're ended up in court. And what is the moral of the story? Organic growth is so important. I want to encourage you organic growth. Don't be in a hurry to get a debt just because you want to scale up. No, grow that business organically. I'm speaking from experience for those that I wanted to grow very quickly. I brought in funders. I was in turmoil for months. All right. So I know for a fact that organic growth is key. All right. I guess you joined us. So I'm going to round up now. Thank you very much. Welcome, Ha. Thank you, Lolade, for joining us. I'm going to hand over to you soon as I round up. So please, so let me tell you about the Shamemoney community. It's a community that I've just started. I started with the Shamemoney course. A lot of my Shamemoney course gurus are here. They're taking the course. And the course, it costs $79 to take the course and to join the community. And there's no monthly fee. At least for now, there's no monthly fee. Once you join the community, you're a lifelong member of the community. All right. So I encourage you, if you want to know more about it, send me a chat. I'm going to put my telephone, my WhatsApp number on the group. Send me a WhatsApp number if you want more information, or you can check my Instagram page, Money Stewards. It will give you more information about Shamemoney. What's the concept of Shamemoney? It's just to grow as a community. You know, we're taking it one step at a time. First of all, start your business and then grow organically, and then think about expansion. You got to take it a step at a time. If you jump the process, you can get yourself into all kinds of situations. So I hope you're going to be part of the community. Like I said, it's $79 is a one-time fee. Is to encourage anybody whether you have money or you don't need it, just encourage people. We're going to at some point start looking for funding for cheap funding or free funding or grants for our members so they can start their business. Shamemoney is for somebody who wants to start something on the roadside. So Shamemoney is for somebody who wants to scale up. Shamemoney is somebody who wants to listen to words of encouragement like this. This program we're going to be doing for the next 6 months. Every single month, I'm going to bring entrepreneurs who I admire and look up to, who have been successfully scaled through the whole Shamemoney concept, and who are willing to share their stories with us. So every month, I hope you're going to be part of it. But in order to be part of this every month, this one, just join the community and you're going to be part of it. And we're going to be giving you more information as we go along. So enough of that said, I'd like to bring in my guest who is now ready. Let me just do a quick introduction. Let me just quickly introduce her. Okay.
Lolade.
Wait.
Ogunjimi. Lolade.
Sorry. I'm going to share my screen in a second. Okay. Okay. Mimi, can you enable me share my screen, please?
Right now.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Can everybody see the screen?
Lolade is an award-winning master.
I don't think we can. 1 second, please. Forgive me.
No, we can't see the screen.
Okay.
Supplies from our bakery stocked at major retail stores all over Nigeria. Having trained over 1,000 bakery business startups, Lolade is passionate about helping other business owners to develop capacity through organizational and digital skills so that they can build a sustainable career in their cake business, both offline and online, which will position them for immense growth, confidence, profitability, and impact. Lolade is a wife and mother
Forgive me,
including
some of
gardening,
us are technologically challenged.
photography, design, and animation. Let us give a warm welcome to Lolade Ogunjimi, an exceptional entrepreneur.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry about that. You couldn't see the visuals we prepared, but anyway, let me hand it over to you, Lolade. Thank you so much for joining us today. God bless you.
Hey, Ryo. I hope you can all hear me. Good evening.
Yes, we
Can
can.
you hear me? Oh, fantastic.
Yes, good evening.
Yay. I am so excited to be here, ladies. Or is there any man in our midst?
There, of course. We don't discriminate.
Oh, look at that. I'm really, really pleased to be here. Thank you all so much for joining Ryo and I this evening. It's indeed a pleasure. I do not take it for granted. For every time I'm asked to share my story and my journey with people, I jump at it so much because I know what words like this can do to just about anybody and on any level of their journey in their business. So thank you, Ryo. This is incredible. You know, if there's something because I mentor a lot of people, and when I tell my staff, because before I even go out mentoring people, it's important that people in my sphere of influence are first and foremost affected before I go out talking to people. So I like to do these pep talks and discussions with my staff every now and again, precisely once a week. And I remember last week when I was, speaking to them, I said to them, guys, it's taking me so long to develop and grow as a business owner. And like you heard from the bio, I've been, an entrepreneur for over 12 years. And if there's one thing that I regret, that I wish I had when I started, it was a mentor, right? Because I did not have a mentor, I made so many horrible mistakes, things I should have learned like quickly. It took me years to learn them. And that's the thing about processes. You might be doing something that you think is right, and you're just going around in circles over and over again. And you can't go around in circles and just expect to see a different result. So the results started to happen for me when I started to take conscious efforts to go out, to develop myself, connect with one or two people who changed my understanding of what it meant to be a woman, an entrepreneur, and that's until then did things begin to happen. So, thank you again. It's indeed an honor to be here this evening with everybody.
Thank you.
Anyway, so the topic, in fact, I love this topic so much. It says handling the stress, failures, challenges, and the ultimate triumph. Now, I love this topic so much because it's very humbling. Nobody loves to talk about the humble beginnings. It doesn't matter when you have come to meet anybody that you admire. Okay, I want you to know they all had a very humble beginning. And my own humble beginning as a cake business owner started right in my mother's kitchen. I was raised by a single mother, and I'm the only girl of 4 boys. And there was a time in my life she said to me, that was in my teenage years, that Lolade, I want you to learn everything I couldn't learn when I was a teenager. So each time I got back home on holiday from secondary school, she was shipping me off to one vocational course or the other. So I learned balloon decoration, I learned hall arrangement, I learned what's it called, floristry. And I think at that very young age, I just caught the bug. For me, it was like, oh my goodness, must I always go out to learn something? If there's one thing she hated, she didn't like me go, when you're at home during the holidays, just being around with all the neighbors. And for me, it was like, this woman is trying to get in the way of my freedom, not knowing that she really set me up for, the path that I later on called my career. So, after all throughout my university days, I remember those days I would even take cakes to school because I was always at home every weekend. So on Sundays when I go back to school, I had to make sure that there was a cake going with me to school. And I am a very shy person, guys. Like, I'm an introvert to the core. But no matter how you are, even if you are an introvert and there's something you enjoy doing, you will find time to do it. And so I would find time to bake a cake, Okay, and I remember those cakes, they were like squares, because I would want to cut them into pieces, and I would go from room to room. Oh, hi, my name is Lolade. Would you like to eat my cake? Some people would just snub me, and that used to be so bad for me. I'm like, why are they snubbing me? It took me so much to come to their space, and then they're snubbing me. And then because I didn't want to be rejected, I would sell some of those pieces, for literally, I would say, okay, I'll come back tomorrow. When you have your money, just give it to me. And guys, I was selling it for 30 naira. 30 naira is up to 50 naira. And I always say till tomorrow, some people are still owing me, that's my 30 naira. They never paid, but slowly, that's how I started building capacity. I was such a shy person, but, baking at the time was like an outlet for me, and I would do it, and people loved it. During, big occasions like Christmas, Valentine, guys, I was supposed to be in school reading. But again, because it was a passion, I will find time while my colleagues or my school or classmates were busy reading. I will be baking and decorating cakes. That was a very interesting time in my life. But after I graduated from the University of Lagos, I remember the very last day or some December, someone sent me a cake as a gift, as a Christmas gift. And I'd never seen that type of cake before. It was covered in fondant. And I was just in so much awe of how something looked so pristine. I'd never done or seen anything like that before. And I called this person that gave me the gift. Who did you get this cake from? I would love to learn from the person. And fast forward to another 6 months of my life after I graduated from University of Lagos, I was in this bakery somewhere in Lagos where I was asked to resume every single day, just on the scene and interning. So why am I sharing with you the really, the real beginning of how it all started? See, guys, it's okay for you to go on social media and see the pomp and pageantry that everybody is displaying. But I need you to know that everybody has a start and everyone has a beginning. So those humble beginnings, honestly, are literally what set me up. So at the time I was working, and I want to go into this detail so that depending on your journey, you can understand and get a lot from our discussion this evening. So while I was in this bakery for 6 months, I was interning, but, I had my eyes set up on, a regular 9 to 5. So while I was going on this, my gig, I got employed at a multinational, Virgin Atlantic Airways, Nigeria. And Virgin Atlantic for me, it wasn't supposed to be a distraction. That was, at that time, I don't even decided I was going to be a baker, So I started with Virgin Atlantic Airways, and I worked, my very first role there was as a liaison officer and a customer care relations expert. And because Virgin Atlantic Airways is a multinational, Richard Branson he was so into us becoming the best. So even if you thought you were going to pick up the phone and say, hi, where are you going to? They would literally fly you abroad to go for a 1 week training, 3 days training, 2 weeks training, to teach you the rudiments of, customer care, handling clients, because we had to speak a certain way. So why am I saying this? Guys, it's not enough for you to just know how to do things. Oh, I have this vocation and everyone is calling me for this vocation. But there's that path that nobody tells you about. And that path is customer care. So while I was in Virgin Atlantic Airways for about 5 years, I learned capacity. I was placed in different roles, the liaison officer responsibility. I was the middleman between the clients, the staff, and the embassy. So whether I was the UK embassy or the American embassy, I was the face. Okay, I had to learn how to speak to an interviewer. I had to learn how to defend customers who needed to get is it a transit visa or a regular visa to travel? And because I was very important in the office, everybody was my friend. So I had to learn diplomacy. I hope you're writing things. So I learned customer care I learned diplomacy. Why did I need diplomacy? Because everybody needed me. You know, the older staff, the newer staff, the young staff, the people who just started. You can't just talk to anybody anyhow because they need you. And that's one thing I need every entrepreneur, anyone who is in business to understand. You become like an actor. Okay? You can't be in a bad mood and someone calls you and they know you're in a bad mood. Why? Why? You need to literally tune when that phone rings and you're still the one picking up the phone. You need to tune and just get on a new persona that will make people feel, oh, you're the most friendly person in the whole world. And after that phone call, gosh, you can go back being your cranky old self, you know. So I learned diplomacy. I learned how to manage clients. I also learned responsibility because the role we were placing at Virgin Atlantic was so sensitive. Imagine someone called you to do a booking and they were going to the US, but because they had to go through Virgin Atlantic, that meant that they had to stop over in London no matter what. So imagine someone is going to the US, stops in London at, let's say, the flight to London gets to London at, let's say, 5 in the evening. And someone going to the US, and you book that person going to the US at 6 p.m. You've literally allowed the person to miss their flight. You had to think about the fact that the flight might be delayed. You need to book this person, considering the fact that this person might have to take their bags, or there might be a delay with immigration. And then you had to kind of figure out the flight that you put the person on so that they could make it to their next connecting flight with ease. So my experience with Virgin Atlantic was very multifaceted. We were able to deal with people from all over the world. And I cannot take away that experience from my journey. So guys, a lot of you that are going through things today and you're wondering, oh, why am I in a dead end? Why can't I leave this spot? Believe me, that spot you're in is for a reason. I want you to begin to appreciate the process, no matter how painful it is, because there are things you're going to learn from that experience you're going through right now that will help you for where you're going to. So when I finally left Virgin Atlantic Airways, during that period, I learned makeup artistry. At that time, I wasn't married, there were no kids, so I had all the time to myself. So I was very interested in beauty. So I registered and did a full course on makeup. So I'm also a certified makeup artist in Nigeria. And again, I've just said to you, while I was much younger, I learned so many vocations. And in my adult life, just before I got married, I was able to learn one or two things. I harnessed my skills in the cake artistry department, and I also learned how to beautify women, So I came into the scene with a lot of skills, with an eye for detail, okay? And what happens when you have so much skill and you have an eye for detail? It changes your perception. The way you create becomes different. Because I am a florist to a large extent. As a makeup artist, I had to learn photography. So you see all these skills. So as an entrepreneur today, there are a lot of skills that you need to learn. Nobody learned it. Nobody brought anything from heaven. Yes, you brought your gifts and your talents from heaven, but even gifts and talents have to be harnessed. I always say to people, I have this staff that, when he started with us, he was he had just been retrenched from another business, another office. And what he was doing there was literally packaging. And when he came to us, he was almost 40. And I was really concerned that someone like that at that age didn't have any skill. So we started him off as a cleaner. But during my discussion with him, he said to me, he knows how to draw. So if you give him a pen on paper, he's going to draw something very nice. So I realized that this man is skillful. So we started to teach him how to decorate cakes. And believe me, what would normally take us 1 year to teach one person, this guy had mastered it in 3 months. Today, he's one of our highest paying staff. He's on a pension plan. He's doing fantastic just because he was in the right environment that equipped him and taught him skills he needed to develop his innate skill. I hope that makes sense. So quickly now, that was just a background. Okay, I usually like to do it, but sorry, my phone just slid off. I'm trying to prop it up back. So that's just a background so that you will know that Lolade didn't just drop off from somewhere and everything just, no, everything is not even where I want it to be yet, but we're a work in progress, okay? So I want to talk about the topic itself, handling stress. So what are some of the stresses that I go through? What are the failures I have gone through, okay? Those failures in themselves are things that have allowed me to become like I wear this hat and it's called a problem-solving hat. So when there is a problem, I think, how do I correct this problem? So let's talk about the stress first. Now, if you're a bakery business owner in Nigeria, not just in Nigeria, anywhere in the world, or if you're doing any work that you're creating things with your hand, you need time. Okay, a lot of us start by ourselves, and before we know it, the work becomes too much for us. So the stress of my work came from the fact that my business grew and I did not grow. What do I mean by that? I mean, we obviously had a gift and a talent people wanted. So people really wanted us to do certain type of products for them. And these products were time consuming. They took a lot of time, they took a lot of effort. We'll be on our feet for long hours. And this was stress, guys. Stress, real stress. So we had to figure out, how to kind of manage the stress, because there will always be stress. It's about you managing it. So one of the things we did, because one of the issues we had as a cake business owner then was that people always came to our space and wanted to use our bakery as a launch pad, meaning when they come, they have no skill whatsoever. And they come and within 3 months, they've learned 1 or 2 things. They were better than how they were. And they quote and unquote think that because they've learned these things, they can start their business. And all of a sudden, they have headache. All of a sudden, their husband doesn't want them to come to work again. All of a sudden, they can't just deal. And they leave. And these are people you have trained. They're not yet there, but to a large extent, you can give them work to do. So what happened? We found out that almost after every 3 months, people were coming and going. And for me, that wasn't well. It wasn't right. I remember there was a time I had this type of issue. We had this staff we had trained so much. And at the time when we thought, oh, this man can start doing things by himself, we paid his salary and he didn't show up. We literally had to start refunding monies back to customers because we could not meet up. So how did we solve this problem? I decided that, okay, I don't have a problem teaching people, okay? But we now decided that we're going to open a training school. And we started doing internship programs. So these internship programs ran for 6 months, some for 3 months, and they were paid. Okay? So for anybody who comes into our environment, they have paid. There's something about someone paying for something. They feel responsible enough to show up in that place every day. They take that work very seriously. So what happened? In that period, we were able to attract people who were educated, who were like-minded, like me. Because if you run any creative type of business, you need to understand that a lot of your staff will not be as educated as you. They don't have your drive. They don't have your exposure. So when you're thinking, but they should know this, they just cannot know it. Don't take away your education and your exposure. It's done a lot to you. It's transformed you. Some people don't have that in their lives, and they just cannot think like you. So when we monetized our internship programs, we were attracting people who were like-minded. Yes, they did not stay, but we knew, they're just here for 6 months. They're going to be adding value to us, and we are also going to add value to them. So we had the internship in such a way that there was a paid platform and there was a scholarship. For those who came on the scholarship, they had 3 months to kind of show themselves that they could be part of a team. And so once they were with us for 3 months, we were not paying them. It was a scholarship. By 3 months, we had seen the ones that were dainty material. And if they were dainty material and we saw that we could hire them, then we will have a discussion and say, oh, we like your attitude to your work. You're not there yet with your skills, but we can work on you. This is what we would like to pay you. So you see how we had a problem and how we were able to manage that issue. Okay, so what are the other stresses we used to have? As a cake business owner or any creative business owner, you need to be able to think on the go. You need to be able to manage your staff. You need to be able to manage your clients, okay? And you need to just be able to manage your operations. And that, for me, guys, used to give me a headache. I just couldn't understand how to manage my staff and all these other things that I said. So we decided to take more courses that harnessed or allowed us to be able to, make proper decisions as business owners. So I will tell people who are on this platform, please, it's not enough for you to learn a skill. You also need to learn business skills that would teach you how to manage your business. So until there was a time I got fed up of even doing cake courses, all I wanted to do was either read books on business or attend business classes. And until I did that before things really changed, So I remember there was a class I attended, and that class completely changed my ideology of running a business. In that business, we were exposed to the fact that if you want to run any kind of business, you need to know your why. You need to know why you're showing up every day. You even need to know, if you're starting now, have the end in mind. Okay, I didn't have the end in mind when I started. I just loved to bake cakes, make people's faces up, and they were paying me. I wasn't thinking of tomorrow until I read an editorial that said, can your business function without you? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Then it's like something just knocked my head, and I'm like, okay, I didn't think about all of these dynamics before, But in that class, I, for the first time, was taught how to develop a business mission, vision, and core values. And guys, that for me was the aha moment. And this was well into 8 years of me being a bakery business owner. Yes. So when I understood what a mission and a vision and core values were, things did not change. And once I understood what these things are, the kind of progress we have made as a business far outweighs the progress we made from the time we started to that very moment. So what is our mission? Everybody coming in to join us today, like I always say, a mission is like a short-term goal. You all have come into this masterclass to learn how to grow your business or develop a certain skill that will help you. So you're coming here to add value to yourself. That is the mission. What is the vision? The vision ultimately is what is going to happen to you or your business as a whole. So the vision is like a long-term goal, while your core values are those sets of attributes that would allow you, get your mission and vision in order. So for us as a business, our core values are care, integrity, and respect, creativity. So without these things, we cannot achieve our vision and our mission. And so I want a lot of you here today, some of you need to go back. What is my mission? Why am I doing this? What is my ultimate vision? And what are my core values? See, core values can be learned. Core values can be learned. All right? Core values can be learned. Sorry about that. They're like attributes. A child who comes out from the mother's womb that did not know they had to, if you're Nigerian, they don't know they had to, curtsy or prostrate to greet. They were taught. All right? So what is my core values? Care, integrity, respect. These are attributes that we had to learn. They're like habits. Okay? Integrity, for instance, meaning what you say and saying what you mean. Respect, just understanding that every single person that comes into your sphere of influence whether it's business or personal, has an invincible sign on their forehead. And what is that sign? Make me feel important. If you understand that, guys, you can attend to anybody. So whether it's your cleaner, the gate man, or the CEO that you are attending to, everybody wants to be respected. So it's about, greeting carefully. When you have the chance to meet people one-on-one, be present in that moment. Don't greet and your mind is away. No, greet them. You never know what your communication with that person at that time would do to them. Is it a smile? Is it just reaching out from people to people out of your busy schedule? It goes a long way, guys. It really goes a long way. So, I've just been telling the stories here. I don't know how much time I have, Ryo, so I don't overshoot the time. How much more time do we have?
And you can give us another 10 minutes so that we can have, then we'll start the Q&A session.
Okay, all right. So, so these are some of the stresses. Another thing, there was another issue we had, and this is how we're able to solve the problem. So one of the major issues we had as a creative business is that we were put in a box. Okay, so this is what I mean by we're put in a box. When people come to Dainty Affairs Bakery, there's a way we express ourselves through edible art. You can give us a handbag, no matter the type of handbag. We will recreate that cake for you. You will think it is a real cake, But here's the problem with job roles like that. They take a lot of time and they take a lot of effort. Okay, and we're there creating one cake for a bespoke cake for a customer, and we spent 2 days, 3 days, and at the end of the day, how much? They were not paying so much. So finally, we got the opportunity to, what's it called now? To go retail. And the thing about retail is you are producing now in mass. And when you produce in mass, the profit margin is not a lot, but the volume is a lot. So while we could create one cake handbag in 2 days, we can literally create hundreds of retail cakes in just 1 day. Okay, so we had to do the math. Which road will we rather toe? And the thing about not just for me, but for anyone who is here today, no matter what level of your business or level your business is, you need to begin to think out of the box. What products can you create that can run without you? Or what service can you create that can comfortably run without you? But there has to be a system in place whereby everybody knows what to do. So if this, for instance, was a product, all right, how can everybody in your team create this product and it will look exactly like this with my lipstick stain right here with the water, is it half full or half empty? With it looking like this. So therein lies the challenge of you developing a process, and it's as easy as you just describing things. So when we decided to go that route, we had to be a lot more careful with our instruction. So we developed SOPs. SOPs are standard of operations. Okay, so we developed these manuals that breaks down our production process step by step. Guys, the deal is to break this thing down as if you were talking to a teenager. Once it's like that, anybody can come and do exactly what you have intended to be done without you necessarily being there. So we had to, we had the problem with capacity. We were developing products that were tying us down and making us stay for long hours that weren't so productive. And then we now decided that, why don't we go the retail route where we focus on volume? Another problem we had, going this route was the fact that because we have a certain persona, our brand is a certain way, we needed to make these mass products still look the part. They had to look attractive. They had to have the same level of production and excellence as all the other products we do have, so that people are not confused. They don't see our products in stores and they're like, are you really sure this is Dainty Affairs? Or they receive from us online and they're like, oh, this is Dainty Affairs. So we didn't want to confuse people. So we had to step up our game as far as branding, as far as just showing up and making sure that our products were well done. Another problem, guys, was if today you're still running a brick and mortar business, there's nothing wrong with that. But with the COVID-19 and the way every business has gone online, it's important that you take your business online today. So again, one of the issues we had was that we were just limited by space, but we got online, we invested in a lot of tech help, a lot of resources that has positioned our business into an online store that everybody wants to go to. Beyond that, we've also been able to develop courses, training resources and materials that people can just, with a click of a button, they just go. We have manuals that people buy and use to run their own cake businesses. We have cakes, we have a wide array. If you haven't been to our website before, it's daintyaffairs.com/bakery. Guys, if you go to that website, you will feel so happy. You will feel so excited that you have to buy something before you leave that store. And of course, these are things that we've had to do. Each time we saw a problem, we knew that it was an opportunity for us to develop a solution. And until you develop a solution as a person, you will not have the value people are looking for. So this is just to encourage everybody. It does take time. All this journey, all this personal journey, all these things, it's so much. I just hope I've been able to do justice to it, Rayo, because I don't want to take too much of our time.
Thank
Are you
so
there?
much. I'm here, sir. Do you see my notes? I'm taking notes ferociously.
Oh, look at that.
I'm taking notes all the way. Thank you so much, Lolade. I really appreciate your time. For those of us that have questions, I want us to start dropping our questions in the chat box. Any questions that you have, please drop it so we can start engaging. And thank you so much, Lolade, for that wonderful story. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You trace us from Virgin Atlantic days all the way to you starting your business, all you had to do to expand and to scale up and and it's really refreshing because when we see you post nice cakes and what's your handle, your Instagram handle?
It's Dainty Affairs.
Please, I implore you to go to that, check it out, check out on Instagram. Oh my God. I was convinced before, and I told her this. I thought she takes pictures out of a magazine and posts it. I was like convinced. And then she said she actually bakes. I said, really, you do bake this? Talk about, she's definitely our cake boss in Nigeria. And I have a lot of cakes, I have to say. But Lolade is just amazing with her cakes. Thank you so much. So I have a few questions of my own before the questions start coming in. The first question I'd like to ask is, you said you started as a passion and your business, this cake thing. Obviously, you didn't know how far you'd come. You were selling 39 cake when you started. You started it as a passion. And then I also know that at some point you also said you were doing cakes and makeup. So my question is this: was passion alone enough to be able to make you build a business? Because I meet a lot of cake people, and I can say to you, 9 times out of 10, they started cake out of passion. They loved the creativity, they loved the cake, and they started it. I think very quickly they realized that this is a business. So tell us the transition, whether or not passion is enough, whether it is enough for you to kick it all the way, like you say. Give us some insight into that, please.
Wow, Rayo, I wish I could say passion is enough. Passion can never be enough. Never. If you start anything, you have to be passionate enough to do that thing. But passion can never be enough. For 8 years, I ran my business based on passion. But because of the role we play in the industry now, we're like an industry leader, and I've been able to reach out to a lot of bakery business owners. There are a lot of much older cake business owners that come to us because we run this consulting part of the business called Caking All the Way, where we help other bakery business owners develop their skills and their potentials. And I remember there was a lady in her 50s, 3 years ago. She reached out to me and said, Lolade, it's like my business has plateaued. All my customers have traveled abroad. And when she said that to me, I felt so sad. This is a woman who had like 4 stores, but she had to one by one shut everything. to just remain, I think one or two. Because she just mentioned there was a time that everybody wasn't online. If you wanted a cake, you had to drive to the cake shop to go and buy your cake. But these days, you can just go online and shop, and the cake will get to your table. All these things I've said, passion cannot do that for you. Passion cannot help you take your business online. You need capacity. You need the legwork. You need the tutorials. You need the people, the team, okay? Or you need to do it by yourself. A lot of the things that you guys see me do today, I had to learn it because I was a startup. I couldn't afford all the big companies who would do branding, photography. Each time I was even able to save some money to get a photographer to come and take our pictures, they will not take it the right way. There's just a way cake photography looks. And because we were selling food and we were on the internet space, the easiest way for us to attract the kind of customers we wanted was to put a kind of pictures on the web, on social media. Our cakes are not cheap at all. If you come to us for our custom cakes, they are very expensive, but they look the part. So I'm not one of those people who will say, oh, passion is enough. I had the passion to bake, to decorate, to create, but I had to learn the skills, all the skills I've just said now, photography, tech, branding, graphics design. I had to learn how to speak the way I'm speaking to you today. Ask Rayo. I used to be the shyest girl on the block. I could not say a word to anybody. I had to develop all of these skills to speak. If you cannot speak to one person, how can you speak to a whole group of people? So talent, passion is not enough, Rayo. It is absolutely not enough. If you have passion alone, get people who have the business skills. So I was telling someone the other day, it's like a musician who just has a beautiful talent and all they know how to do is sing. But they need a branding or a marketer. You know how they have marketers who now market their talent. So on their page, there's a marketer that does everything you see. So you need business skills. See, Guinness, you think Guinness now, or Coca-Cola just brought in a new product. How is it Coca-Cola? I've forgotten. There's a new product trending now. And I happen to know one lady, my neighbor and my friend, who was part of the development team of literally advertising this product. It took them over 6-7 months to develop this. See, as a business owner, you need marketing. A lot of you listening to me today, you cannot market. You are too shy. You show up on social media, you don't know what to say because there's no clear differentiation between you and your business. You and your business are not the same. You're two different entities. You might be too tired or too ashamed to post. Your business needs people to see it. If people do not see it, it's like you are depriving people of your gifts. If you are there, you're saying, oh, I'm not able to market my business because I don't have the skill. You are depriving people of your gifts. So passion is definitely not enough. There's so many things so passion is like the bone, okay? You need the organs and the flesh and the heartbeat. So passion is like the heartbeat, but you now need all other things that will make it a full-fledged human being and allow that business to run by itself profitably, structurally, okay? And be able to impact people as well. Thank you very yes, NBC, Nigerian Bottling Company. Thank you, Abby. I hope that helped.
Thank you so much. That's amazing. Honestly, that's amazing. And then another question I have, you talked about mentorship. Mentorship, that the fact that you didn't get mentorship. If I look at my business journey, I wish that I had a mentor that had helped me. But my business was very much, it was, should I say, I was more like you, an industry leader. I was also more like an industry leader. What I was trying to do, I'm based in Nigeria and I wanted to be a property developer in the United States. Now, there's not many people I can go and meet to say, oh, handhold me. I'm going to be doing this in the United States. I had to rely on people in the United States. And that all kinds of issues, because that's where we see mentorship versus interest, people with interest. So before I go any further, tell me the role that mentorship plays and how you're able to mentor people, because I think that a lot of people, especially business owners, we underestimate the role of mentorship. If I look back on my journey, yes, maybe maybe I could not find mentors that were doing exactly what I wanted to do. But certainly I could have found mentors that understood business, that understood structure, that understood marketing and sales. And I could have sort of piggybacked on each and every one of them to come up with that. So I think I want you to explain to me what mentorship really plays. And also, I was thinking about it tonight. I was thinking, far beyond mentorship, we need a board of advisors. We need, now, it might not be the formal board members you registering it, because, certain people would not want necessarily to be your board member. They don't mind giving you advice. But
right.
how the role of advice in one's business, I wanted to touch on that and unpack that.
Right. That's a very, very interesting question. So let me start with the last one you said, the role of advice. Now, the role of advice is so critical, because you can get advice from someone who will completely make you go down the road. Ooh. And you can get an advice from someone who will completely change your paradigm. There was a day I spoke to this lady and she said to me, Lolade, what you just said to me is like someone giving someone water in a desert. You cannot underestimate the power of clarity. That is so important. I speak this way today. I am so confident about what I'm saying because I too know that not just the journey, but I've been able to sit at the feet of people who have trained me, and I continue to read. I don't stop. I continue to invest in things that allow me to develop in my capacity. So advice is so important. Who are you getting advice from? Okay. You need, so when we talk about advice can also come from a mentor. Okay, so these days we have mentors, we have coaches. A coach doesn't necessarily do what you do. Okay, they've just learned some life skills and abilities that they can teach you to imbibe, and they help you bring the best of yourself. But a mentor is someone who holds your hand, okay, and walks you down the road. So let me give you an example of this lady that comes to mind. Now, there was about 2 years ago, there was a lady. For years, we used to do her cakes, and she lives outside Lagos. She lives in Ilorin. Okay, Ilorin is like is it the western part of Nigeria? Yes. Not in Lagos. This woman, for every time her kids were having birthdays, she would not only order cakes, she would get someone to pick it up from us here in Lagos. And I would think, why is this woman coming all the way? Is there no baker in Ilorin? I did not know that far in Ilorin, we have affected and influenced a particular lady. To cut the long story short, this woman was always coming to us for her cakes, for her kids. But each time she received the cake, she would look and look and look. It inspired her. It made her feel like, oh, me too, I can do this now. And at that time in her journey, she's just been changing jobs for over 12 years, moving from one job to another. And she reached out to me and said, you know what, I want to come and do this course with you. And I said, Madam, just stay in Ilorin, do your beginner's course. And once you've done your beginner's course and you at least know the difference between flour, egg, and butter, come to Lagos, then we'll take it from there. And so when the time was right, she came to Lagos. All I needed with her was 1 week. And I tell people, you don't need a long class. It's the quality of what you are hearing. I can tell you now that the mentorship session that completely changed my capacity as a cake business owner happened in 1 day, in one room, with one lady, 1 day. Of course, there were follow-ups, but that change happened that 1 day. But I had to now go back and develop what she had trained us on. So this lady came to Lagos for 1 week. We taught her this, that. And during the lockdown, she also learned, like we had a mentorship session, and that mentorship session taught her business skills. And I look at her with so much admiration that this woman has made so much progress in under 1 year, a progress that I took, 10 years to make. This woman has made it in 1 year or 2 years. So see why mentorship is so important. You can't know everything by yourself. It's impossible. For every level you even get to, if you're comfortable, it means that you need to learn something else. There's another new season of reinvention that is waiting for you. So don't be too comfortable. So even if you're here today in the capacity of a coach, an expert, there's still a big dynamics that is still waiting for you to learn. And how best to learn it? How easy is it to learn it? If you just find someone who aligns with your values and just hook to the person, so that they can teach you all those things so that you can quickly be where you want to be, instead of taking a very long road. There's nothing wrong with taking a long road. But for a lot of us that are here, for example, I'm pushing 50 now, okay? When I started my business, I was in my 20s. All those mistakes I made, I don't want to make those mistakes anymore. So I have to position myself where for every issue that I have, it's like when I'm baking a cake and I have an issue with decorating something, I will probably just take my phone and go to Google, how to do XYZ, and Google will give me all this list, and I will choose the one I want to learn from, and immediately I have clarity. So that is the same way mentorship is. Mentorship is a lot more intense. Okay, for anyone who says they want to be mentored by someone, that's why you need to be careful who mentors you. Are their values aligned to your own values? If you see that they are aligned like that, then there's nothing wrong with you aligning yourself and gaining that type of knowledge you want from them. Okay?
Thank you so much. That's just word, God. Okay, now let me move slightly differently. And please, again, if you have questions, drop it on the chat box and we'll answer the questions as we go along. Failure. Tell us some of your failures and some of how you were able to overcome it. Because there's something that Jack Ma said that stuck with me. And I think it's one of the most critical lessons when you're starting a business or you're doing entrepreneurship. And he said something, he said, if he ever writes a book, he's going to write a book on 1001 mistakes that Alibaba made. I think that, yes. And and he also went on to say, look, when I think, I don't know what, one of the Ivy League schools in America were doing a study on him, and every year they predicted that Alibaba will disappear and that this company will be more successful than Alibaba. And year after year after year, they defied the odds. And they came out on top, and all the other companies that had more exposure, more funding, more capacity, so to speak, fell by the wayside as they went along. And then the question was like, so why were you able to succeed in all of these things? He said, look, when you're starting a business, one of the critical things you must know is look at the businesses around you that have failed and find out the reasons why they fail. And he said something, he said, look, we all make the same mistakes as SMEs, but our mistakes are just disguised in different manners. So if you're able to find out the reasons why this business has failed or these businesses are failing, he said you can adjust yourself and not make the same mistake they've made. And as long as you decide you're able not to make the same mistake they made, you will succeed. So I always find out that when people are looking for why someone is successful, I will look at why they failed, because success is sometimes overrated. It's the failures that teach you incredible lessons. I want you to tell us a bit about some of your failures and the lessons they've taught you.
Okay. All right. I know I mentioned a bit while I was talking, but in summary, I would separate it into two: capacity and finances. So capacity, one of the biggest failures that I had was my inability to duplicate myself. So when I started this journey I started my entrepreneurial journey as a makeup artist. At that period of my life, I wasn't married, I didn't have kids, and I was a hot makeup artist. I mean, 10 years ago, if Dainty Affairs wasn't one of your makeup artists, you haven't arrived, and that's the truth. We're getting awards upon awards, this, that, we were needed everywhere. Sometimes I would give people prices that I will give them that price so that they will not call me. But guess what? They will call back. They were willing to pay any amount I was asking for. And then life happened. I got married. I started having children. With my big tummy, for like first 3 months, I couldn't talk. I just wanted to be in bed. And guess what? Your customers won't wait for you. They will move on. So with every pregnancy, 9 months, I would travel to go and have children or the child, come back home for another, 1 year. You're trying to even adjust as a mother. You're trying to get yourself together and then have time to do this business. But because I did not duplicate myself, I was living in the bubble of, oh, if it's not Lolade, nobody can do makeup. But guess what? People moved on. Oh. So my beauty business literally died a natural death. Because for each time I went to her and I had my kids back to back, it was like 3 years. What am I saying? About 4 years or 5. I just wasn't available anymore. So there's always the next best makeup artist. There's always the next best financial guru. For whatever you are doing, go and look. Who are the people that were reigning 2 years, 3 years ago? It's a handful of them that are still important today. So I was in that bubble where I thought it was only me. I can't teach anybody. If I teach them, they will run away with my knowledge. Who said that? Who said that? So I had all these skills that I was too afraid to share with people. And even when I shared with them, I shared a little. Or I shared with them, but I had not developed my business in such a way that they wanted to stay. So when I taught them, they left. So if you give me, Rio, if you give me a makeup box today, if I tie your gele, do your face, you would think it's a hot makeup artist that did your makeup. Skills never die. I have this skill. In fact, my makeup box is somewhere in my office. Every day I look at it when I enter my office. It's a skill that I just don't use. So I completely regret that I stopped, that I did not manage, and I did not pivot my business in such a way that I was able to make it sustainable. Another failure, right, is the fact that I didn't have financial intelligence. I started this business really young, and we're making so much money, so much. But instead of me to save, I wish, Rayo, I knew you then. My priority, I'm telling you, my priority at that time of my life was to have the most beautiful store. So we're spending, our very first store was in GRA, Lagos, Ikeja. You can imagine what my rent was. A very small space. My landlord, they just never allowed me to put my signboard outside. So I was spending so much on advertisements, spending so much on paying rent, spending so much on paying service charge. I took a loan back then, okay? And all the money coming in was servicing that loan, servicing that debt. I didn't have a saving culture. There was nobody that taught me anything. Oh, put your money here, invest in this, do that. So you just found out after a while that, okay, you've made so much money, but where is it? Where is it? So, Brian, those are the two major parts I want to talk about: developing capacity and the financial intelligence you need. So for me, because I didn't have someone teach me, I paid a very big price. Very big price. So now from those failures, I'm so happy to train anybody now. Oh, if you like, come today and go. Right now where I am is to duplicate myself. I want you to speak the way I speak. If you come into my circle of influence, I want you to be where I am. So I'm willing to share what I have with you. But there are processes in place that you need to adhere by. And financially, oh, of course, we make better decisions now. For example, I just mentioned my staff are on pension. I pay myself a salary. There was a time I didn't used to pay myself a salary. I have a better saving culture and investment culture now. You know, I'm not where I want to be, but definitely not, you know, 10 years ago, without children and a husband, the amount of money we had, but we were just squandering everything up and down, you know? So, Raya, those are the two for me that I would mention.
You mentioned something about, you took a loan at some point for your business?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Okay, so that would take me to my next question about taking loan. And was it, because one of the critical things I'm becoming focused on, one of the mistakes I made in my business was taking too much loan too early. And that's almost crippled me. That's my own experience. So I'm very quick to want people to take caution when it comes to taking loan. It's sweet to take the loan because you need the loan to expand, to build capacity and so
need
on.
liquidity,
But
yes.
when the interest rates start piling up and the businesses are not producing the kind of income for you to sustain that loan and pay it off quickly, it can very easily become, you can regret it, and it can take you on a different downward spiral. So I want you to take me through your experience of actually taking loan. Did you need a loan at the time when it came? Were you able to easily service it? Would you take more loans in the future? Just give me some talking points around that.
Okay, Brian, taking loan too early in business without any form of intelligence is wrong. All right. But at that time, I didn't want to listen to what anybody was saying to me. I just wanted to open a highbrow store that everyone would come in and get made up. So I took this loan from a bank, and of course, it went bad. It went bad. So, I always tell people, start small, dream big, and work your way up to the top. Did I need that loan at the time? Probably not. So if you think you really need money to do a certain task or to expand your business, the question is, which people are around you? Are there people around you that you can quickly go to, okay, before you go to a financial house? Because a financial house they have more stringent rules, and their interest rates today can be like this, tomorrow they can be another way, and that would affect you. So Raya, while I took that loan at the early stages, I wish I didn't take it. And it beats me so hard that that was the last loan I took for over 8 years of running 10 years now. Haven't taken a loan. We have grown organically. If we need to buy anything, we normally save, okay? If we need to expand, we will. And right now, things are a lot better. There are a lot of avenues, and Raya, that's your own expertise. There are some people right now who are willing to give loans, okay, who are even willing to partner with you to grow your business. I hear in Nigeria, the Bank of Industry is looking for people like us, business owners. All they need to know is that you're running your business properly, you have your numbers all mapped, and you have your targets, and they want to give you this money. There are grants up and down. So it's really, I'm not sure, and it's really for everybody. But personally, taking a loan from a financial house is not what I want to do. All right. If we want to source for funds, we would rather go another route than go to the financial houses, if you understand what I mean. But there is a time and place for that. Okay. I wouldn't advise you to take a loan to go and rent a store. I wouldn't say that. Now, if you're taking a loan, and Raya, bear me witness, if you're taking a loan to buy products that you know you want to sell and get a certain amount of money back, you could study the terrain, okay? Is it a perishable product? If it's a perishable product, you probably don't want to do that. If it's a product that doesn't have a lifespan, and you already know that you have people who are on ground to buy those products, all well and good. But servicing a loan also means you also need to have a certain type of discipline. Because if you have taken that loan, you need to be able to return it as at when due. So those are my thoughts about loans. But yes, we took a loan at the very beginning of our business, and it's one of the things that I wish I did not do, because it took me a long time to offset I ended up paying double what I had borrowed. Okay.
Wow, in the very short space of time, yes.
And space.
For those that are looking to start their businesses that they have capital challenges, what's your advice to them?
Start small. Start small. I would also say be on your own lane. Social media today makes everybody a bit disorganized. I would say to you, some of you need a detox of social media, and that's the truth. All your customers are not on social media. All your customers are not on Instagram. All your customers are not on Facebook. There's a whole world of publicity. When we were able to get the opportunity to go retail, there's no amount of posts we posted on Instagram that connected us with that link. There was no amount. So don't be distracted. There's a whole world of possibility that you have to do the legwork. You have to market, go one-on-one organically. Okay, go one-on-one, go to people who want to show up. When I was a makeup artist, for example, my face used to do the talking. I was shy, but I would enter a space and, oh, I love how you look. I'm like, oh yes, I'm a makeup artist. Let your work speak for itself. Okay, if finances is a problem, guys, can we have you first of all write down exactly those 3 things I said when I started? Your mission, your vision, your call. Those things are important. If you don't have those things, you won't even, some of you, after writing your vision, mission, and core values down, you will realize that you don't even need to borrow money. So for us now, what's our own vision? Our vision is twofold: to create all these impeccable cakes and do all these fancy looking things, but also to carry the cake community in a way where we're inspiring them and we can raise excellent cake artists all over the world. So every decision we make is targeted towards that. And guys, for example, when I tell people, start with what you have. So for example, we all have this phone on our hands. I'm a cake artist, and this is for every creative person that is right here. If you think visibility is your problem, it shouldn't be a problem now, okay? And this is what I tell people. What is that TV station you love the most? Have you imagined that today you put on that TV station and they show something so interesting? You go back there tomorrow, they show the same thing. Oh, this is a rebroadcast, that's fine. You now go there the 3rd day, they show the same thing. Please, on the 4th day, will you go there? You definitely won't go there. They always repeat the same thing. Some of you don't know that you have become your own television. Your business is in your hands. If you have a phone today, okay, you have become your chief advertising officer. You don't need anybody to do that for you right now. Can we have you begin to create content? Because you need to be able to fulfill those 3 C's, which are the content, capture, and convert. What is your content? That thing you're doing. Everybody has content. Without a content, you cannot capture. And you need to be able to capture the right people, isn't it? And after you capture, then you need to turn those people you have captured into a converting customer, meaning someone who is willing to pay for what you are showing them. So the question I want to leave you guys with today, if you think you need money right now, okay, let's leave that. Okay, can I ask you one question? If money was not a problem, then let's assume you have the money. Okay, what will you do with that money today, right now? Can we have you start developing those things you want to do? So for a lot of us here are creative people. What is the content you want to show the world? If you make handbags, have you started creating them? Have you displayed them in a way that people would love it? Have you taken the picture in a certain way? Have you done a behind the scenes video of how you made them? Okay, I'm a cake maker and I feel no one is calling me. Hello, they're dummies. Can I have a dummy? Who will the customer know is a dummy? I will just decorate the cake, make it look beautiful and post it. The question is, are you constantly showing up? Okay, and this constantly I'm not saying every day. It takes a lot of time and effort to constantly show up. But if you decide, oh, I'm going to show up twice a week, let's see you show up with quality content that will attract the kind of customers you want. So I would say, guys, while we all need money to grow, money is good. But some of you will realize what you need is already in your hands. What you need is in that hand already. And you have to find ways to creatively use it in such a way that what you want comes to you. Okay, so that's my take on that.
Amazing stuff. You mentioned earlier that you have a huge staff turnover. Basically, people coming, you training, and you going. And I remember that you said that. So how did it work in the beginning? You used to pay people, you train them, and they leave, and then you now turned that into an internship whereby they paid you to train them.
Yes. So what I started, it was a passion, then I would do things, and the business grew. It was only me, then I would get 1 or 2 people, train them, and they would leave. So I just saw the trend. And even till today, there's a trend like that. Okay, where people just come and they just feel everything they've met you right now. They want to learn everything you know right now. It's not possible. They only know, they just learn with 3 months and then they go. And I feel so bad for them because it's a trend. I just see people doing that over and over again. And I also want to use this time to say something, Ryo, that we are called to be different things in different seasons of our lives. Honestly, if someone had told me that what I'm about to say will make sense to me today, I would say no. But really, it's not everyone that is called to be an entrepreneur. Because there's a certain type of grace, ability, and tenacity that an entrepreneur needs to have. Okay? And it's okay. It's not everybody that has that. But there are some very good behind the scenes people. Have you met anyone like that before, Ryo?
Yeah.
They are so hot behind the scenes. Without them, you can't function.
Yeah.
It could be that you are called to be behind the scenes person for a season in your life before you now enter into the season where you are the one. Okay, so you just need to be careful. These things they take a lot of thought. And because we're all in a hurry, we are distracted, we don't really take time to think inwardly that where am I in my journey right now? Okay, so I would say this, Ryo, I saw a lot of people go through that type of motion. They will come to us 3 months and they will go. And I would look at them and, this young lady, and you still have so much to learn, but I can't hold them by the hand. I can't beg them. Anyone who wants to go, you can't hold them to stay. They have to go. But you just see that they're good. You can't, So we just had to realize that, this was a trend and it wasn't working for me. I would spend so much time and effort and you would go. So we decided to monetize it. So we attracted people who will come for a certain time, but we had a lot of in-house rules. And after that period, they left. And for the ones who we gave the internship programs as scholarships, those were the ones we didn't pay them for a duration of time. And after a certain amount of time, where we saw that, they could now work with our style, we now put them on a salary. And of course, unlike before where we just used to bring people in, part of the business trainings we had was you have an induction program for your staff, you have manuals and all sorts of programs they have to sign, indoctrination and all whatnot. So people even coming there knowing that, these people are serious, they have rules. Even if they have to resign, they need to give us at least 2 months or they forfeit a salary, because those 2 months, that meant we had to bring somebody else and teach that person on what they were doing. So they just don't up and go like the way they used to do before. Okay.
Fantastic. I have a comment from 123 Solutions, Accounting Solutions. Thank you, Lolade. I'm so glad you mentioned it is important to have financial advisory early on in your business. It is so important to have the right advisors as you start your business. Most startups need accounting services from the get-go and all the way to ensure they track their performance. So basically, it's in twofold: financial enlightenment, so ability to save, to invest, and so on, and also financially being able to keep your books, everything together, all those things. They're very important.
Very. I must say, Ryo, we have our accounts department outsourced. Okay, I'm a big believer of whatever you are good at, do it. I remember those days that I was, quote and unquote, trying to save money. It was the worst thing. I'm just a creative person. Anything that has to do with numbers, I don't like it. So until we got a company to sort out our books, before things went well. So I'm a big believer of whatever level you are in your business, whether you're just starting, that person or group of people who will take on that role of sorting out your books and literally teaching you how to spend money, how to save, how to turn in your taxes, how to do your pension. All those things are so important. So thank you very much, 123 Accounting. That's very, very good of you. Thank you.
And I just want to add as well, even though I'm in the financial space, I have my accounting outsourced as well. And I'm in the financial space. I remember when I started, I wanted to learn all this account. I said, no, you know what? I'm going to take my time that I need to grow and be creative, be focusing on this. I can't do every single thing. And unlike you, you're great with graphics, branding. I hate branding. I hate graphics. I hate those things. My core, but I'm a numbers person. I love numbers. My core ability is I can raise funds, do project, manage the project, execute it, hand it over, and that's where I base my skill set. But like in the beginning, you might not be able to afford that, and there are tools that enable you to do so. If you're interested in more of this, sign up for the Shamemoney course. Like I said, it's a Shamemoney community. We break all of these things down for you. We give you tools that if you're starting, you can start up your business within a month. Get it started. Because I realize that starting is probably the biggest roadblock to people. The ability to transition. Because it was a smoothie business, and I can't really call it a smoothie business because all I did was make smoothies and sell it at work. But even that took months to get started. All of this procrastination, this mind blocking, and saying that what, you will do it, you will do it, you will do it. And time is passing you by. You need to make as many mistakes as you can. And when you're starting a business, the first few years, you're making mistakes. Don't put pressure on yourself trying to generate. You spend so much money on business plan. I never wasted my money on because I realized that every business plan is designed to make money. Every business plan is cash flow positive within a few months. But in reality, it doesn't work that way. I want us to just take the next question now as we're rounding up. So like I said, if you have any questions, bring it in. This is not just a cake conversation. This is a business conversation. This is a startup conversation and a SME conversation. That's what it's about. And wherever you are in the business, there's something to learn. All right, so now the future of Dainty Affairs. I know you mentioned in your presentation that you used to spend days, 2-3 days doing one cake, and now you can churn out hundreds of cakes, of customized cakes within that period of time. And can you, number one, compare the profitability of both? Doing the one single cake and the profitability of doing hundreds of cakes. And now it seems like you're moving more into retail. Now we also we all know that bricks and mortar business is getting more and more challenging, especially post-COVID. Example I want to give is Amazon versus Walmart. So Walmart has been around for a far long time. I mean, it was a massively successful billion-dollar company before Amazon even thought about getting started. But today, the race is not, you can't even compare. Amazon stocks are worth over $3,000, and Walmart is probably about 100 and something or so. And apart from the stock, because that's the price of the stock doesn't necessarily determine the value of the company. The value of the company, Amazon is a $1 trillion company, and Walmart is not. So it's more valuable company compared to Walmart. And now Amazon just went to buy Whole Foods. Like, I didn't have to start a retail business from scratch. But the Amazon model is very is a very simple model. The Amazon model is the fact that, look, we're not going to concentrate or focus on bricks and mortar business, okay, like Walmart is. We are going to make internet. We want to be kings of the internet space. I don't know for your business. I know you're not really into shop fronts because you go to a lot of businesses. They were doing nice shop fronts. So when Amazon was building the technology to enable them scale in the tech space, Amazon and Walmart was building bigger bricks and mortar. What is the future of Kicking All the Way and Dainty Affairs in terms of actually the typical business in Nigeria? They all have stores, all the cakes people have stores, and that's where people go in and buy cakes. Is your focus strictly online for futuristic reasons? Is your focus, and can you do it in this environment? Have like a warehouse store that you're churning out this retail cakes and selling it? So I think I don't know if I've confused you with all the questions because I'm modified a bit in one.
It's all right. Okay, so our vision at Dainty Affairs is to be the most reputable online bakery in Africa. And the cake you just mentioned, so we're called Dainty Affairs, but from Dainty Affairs, we birthed Kicking All the Way. So Kicking All the Way helps us to achieve the second part of our mission, which is to inspire and raise excellent cake culture. Okay, so except you are a cake lover, a cake enthusiast, a cake hobbyist, okay, Kicking All the Way might not appeal to you. But Dainty Affairs appeals to everybody because everybody loves to eat cake, right? Whether it's keto cake, whether it's low sugar, you need us. While caking all the way is just for a select few. So guys, how did I know this? When I sat down to understand what our mission is. So it's funny that you mentioned Amazon. Have you gone to read their vision statement before? Everybody, guys, that's your homework once we leave this place. Google the vision of Amazon. If this is a vision they wrote years ago, okay, now look at what they are doing today and see how it aligns. So that is why it's so important for everybody here today to be able to answer those questions. What is your vision? What is your mission? What is your core values? So because we want to, the very first part of our mission is to create impeccable cakes, bakery treats and all that. We found out that the best way to be effective was to be online. So we have our online store where people go and order whatever they want. And then, of course, for those people who don't like going online or who are just grocery shopping, who just want to quickly buy a cake. So being in the retail stores is a nice target for them. Okay, so what is the future of Dainty Affairs? We are evolving as a business. Okay, the honest truth is, did I start knowing all of this? No. But I remember when I sat down to write the mission down, the vision rather. The vision was what? To be the most reputable bakery business in Africa. Your vision has to scare you. Don't worry about how it's going to be achieved. There's a problem. There's this thing about when you write, once you write that thing down, not that it's in your head. Your mind is for thinking, your hand is for writing. Once you write that thing down, there's a way you start to connect with it. There's a way, okay? See, when we wrote our vision down, we had not started the retail store route, okay? So one of our major customers now is ShopRite. Is ShopRite not an African business? It is. And when I wrote that vision down, I said to myself, Lolade, are you serious? You even put Nigeria, you put Africa. What? Something happened. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm a woman of faith, so my faith plays a big role. I would just pray, but every day I showed up doing the work based on our core values: care, integrity, respect. Don't worry about how that vision will come alive. Have all of you tried to buy something before? You want to buy a car and you've never seen it in your environment before. But once you pay for that car, you start seeing, how come I'm just seeing this car? Does that thing happen to? So it's the same thing with your vision. Once you write it down, believe me, there's a way that your mental capacity begins to connect with the real. I don't even know how to say it. I'm just excited talking about it. You know, so I mean, for the future of Dainty Affairs, right now, even I'm in a stage where I'm just looking. We're so excited about the journey. This is not what I anticipated. I just showed up every day doing what I knew how to do in the best way possible at that period, based on what I know. So I tell people, if you did a course with us last week, this week, if you're going to take that course again, it's completely different because I'm constantly changing and learning as well. You know, so yes, for now, it's to be a very strong online cake store. And of course, to have different avenues where people can go to different retail stores and be able to buy our products. So think about how Lola's Cupcakes is in the UK. That really appeals to me. How you go to a station and you just see Lola's Cupcakes, that they are beautiful cards somewhere. So it's really in those lines that we're thinking of right now.
Wow, amazing. So your focus is you don't want the typical bricks and mortar store, or you want it as an addendum. Your focus is to go online and to go retail. So basically you're having a warehouse somewhere where you're producing and from there. So you're not into all the shop front decorations anymore.
Absolutely. For now, yes, that's how I feel about it all right now. Yes.
And I agree, and I think that's amazing because that is the future. You know, I know that Africa is slightly behind, and Jumia came, and you know, all sorts of challenges with the Conga, making, you know, they wanting to be the Amazon in Nigeria, and they had all sorts of challenges. But there's no way, especially COVID has taught us that And the only reason why you didn't continue your business was for health reasons. But COVID has taught us that, you know, online is the future. I don't want to have to come to your store to order a cake. I should be able to send it back, you know, send you a picture and have it, you know.
Exactly.
So I think the focus of being having a massive shop front store and all those things. I love that model. I love that model because I also, in my business, I was thinking of actually opening a branch in Lagos, our flagship stores, our flagship building, you know, making it. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that, you know, I'm so glad I didn't spend millions of naira to, you know, sinking into that shop from, because at the end of the day, right from the comfort of my home, with the internet, I'm reaching far more people. See, we have people from South Africa, America, London, everybody joining us here tonight. They would never have come to us if we're in the shop front. That's a fact. And we can disseminate the same coaching information and get stuff done. So I think way to go. I love that model because a lot of cases people are still much into the shop floor front. Am I correct?
Yeah, of course.
All right, well, as we round up, I'll take one more question. Or let me see. I think I have a few more comments here. 1 second. Okay. Okay, I think financial ignorance is killing. This is from Kende. Financial ignorance is killing, is a thing killing and crippling. What financial intelligence will make you a comfortable businessman or woman? And aside from marketing, what core information is needed in the business as they are? Sorry, I don't know why this is. Okay, so let me just, I think we have a few questions. Okay, all right. So let me start with Candy. So Candy says, financial ignorance is a thing killing and crippling. What financial intelligence will make you a comfortable businessman or woman? And aside from marketing, what core information is needed in business as there are so many out there? What should you focus on?
Okay, so quickly now, there's this app. Quickly now, I would love everybody to look. So just look for information. So there's so many information out there. Kende, thank you very much. And the world is overloaded with information. So sometimes you need to hear something, but you don't know which of them will work for you. All right. So quickly now, what's her name? Sherry Blair. I'm sure all of you remember her, right?
Yeah.
So she has this NGO that is very passionate about teaching, especially African entrepreneurs, how to build a business. So there is this app called Her Venture. Okay. You can Google the app, download it on your phone. It's a complete walkthrough of whatever stage you are in your business. It teaches you what you need to do right now, okay, to move your business from where it used to be to an extent where at least you have some information that can help you take the right decisions, financial decisions, work-related, operations, marketing. So it's like a one-stop shop, but it's like a summary. But I like it because it's very easy to read and it just bam, bam, bam. So the things we've run out of time. It's an app that I would advise everyone here to, download on your phone. And when you have the time, just go through it, because we all need information that can get us from where we are to where we need to be, at least to a large extent. Yes, someone is saying, I can testify Her Venture app is highly simplified. So please, guys, Her Venture, okay, it's called Her Venture, Her, H-E-R, Venture. And then it gives you like little exercises, so easy to read and understand. So everything I would have said there, guys, just go there. It will really help you. And then the second part of her question was what, Ryo?
And aside from marketing, what core information is needed in business? As there's so many out there, what should you focus on? So you're starting out or you want to scale up, what should be your focus?
Okay, so personally, when you're starting out, remember that content thing I told you about, the 3 C's, that your content. Okay, so that means you have to develop yourself to become a master of your art. Now, I'm going to put a strong underline on that one. The reason why we're all showing up to listen to Ryo today is because she has invested in herself to be a leader in her industry. Okay, Ryo is a walking walking, what's it called? A walking intelligence ball all in one. And everybody is looking for that. Do you understand? So whatever level you are in your business, think about it. What are you going to learn or add to yourself right now that will make you literally honey? That everybody, the newbies, the startups, or everybody is looking for you. Begin to invest in those things. Some of those things will happen immediately. Some of them will take a while. Okay, and as you develop yourself in learning skills, you also need to learn all these abilities that will help you manage people, emotional intelligence. Okay, how do you relate to client A? How do you relate to client B? Even when you're upset, how do you manage a customer who tells you your prices are expensive? There's one word you can say to them, and someone who thought you were expensive will be happy to pay you. It's all emotional intelligence. So remember that thing, those 3 C's, put those things in your mind. Your content, make sure your content is top notch. And then capture. Capture is how the things you do to capture people. What are you going to use as a base to make people, draw people to you? Some of you have to learn more skills. If you are here today and you're still doing a lot of things by yourself, that's very okay. Just know that you have to do them well. What's your photography skills like? What's your speaking skills like? What are the things that you will do to help you market your business? What's your copywriting like? You want to sell something and you're still saying, hey, hello, my name is this. I finished with a university degree of, they would have scrolled to the next thing. What is that one liner you will say that will hook people and make them want more of what you're saying? They are skills. They're called copywriting skills. You need to learn them. You just need to literally load yourself. And you're not going to load yourself on TV. Figure out that for each time, yes, you have to rest. That's important. Please, for all these things I'm saying, there's a place of rest. There's a place of nurture, self-love, self-appreciation. There's a place of being okay with where you are. Don't hate yourself or be hard on yourself for what you are or where you are now. Okay, the most important thing is that you're going out of a masterclass like this fully loaded and having a strategy that, okay, these are the things I need to do. So we've mentioned content, we've mentioned capture, then convert. Now, convert has to do with the money coming in. When the money is coming in, what are you going to do with it? Who is your financial advisor? Who is teaching you how to save? Who is teaching you how to invest? Who is even teaching you how to plow back into the company? Do you understand? So just understand those 3 C's. It's one word, content, capture, convert. But by the time you put flesh on all of them, those really are the things you need to do. So we don't go up and down, if you understand what I mean.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I have a question from Wendy. What are the main factors you should consider when pricing your cakes for startup cake business? I'm guessing she's into cakes.
Okay, fantastic. Hey, Wendy, my cake person. How are you? Okay, so this is it. Now, I want you to know that pricing is not a bus stop or is a journey. Okay? It's okay if you charge something today and tomorrow you change the price. Please, it's very okay. And for cake makers or for creative people, you need to know that you need 3 types of products. 1 is your custom product, B is your signature products, C is your mass products. Now, what do I mean? Your custom products are those products that people will find you. So our custom products are the products people use to find us. Our custom products, if you go to our IG page, for example, where we post a lot there, you will see incredible cake art. It's easy for us to draw people into that net by the kind of work we put out. We now have signature products. Those custom products are the products we charge very heavily for. And when I say very heavily, go all the way. Your people know that this is what, they don't argue with you, okay, because they know what you bring to the table. Now, signature products are products that, hey, a butter icing cake, won't take too much of your time. 1 minute, you slap it up on and it's good to go. And then your mass products, if you're a baker now, what are those things you can put in your oven that will quickly come out now? I don't know what your vision, mission, and cover is, so I can't push things on you. But things like mass products for bakers are pastries, chin, donuts, those things that can be done in mass, and they don't cost so much. So think about how your bakery can actually produce in this way, okay? And depending on each of these products, you are able to charge a certain amount. So our custom products, for example, we make sure that there's times on our custom products, we even make almost 100% profit. Custom. Because, for example, someone tells us to bake a cake. The cake went into the oven, we mixed it for what? 2 hours. Baking and baking, mixing and baking. Cake is ready. But between when the cake gets cool and when we decorate it, it takes us between 2 to 3 days. Can you quantify that in money? That is time and skill. We might not have too many of those products, but when we have it, we have to dedicate that time. And so we charge a lot of premium for those cakes. Now, our signature cakes, we try as much to make at least 20 to 30% profit on it. Okay? Between 20 to 30%. And then the mass products, honestly, because they are made, we make volumes. So when it's like someone making bread and you're making only 15 naira on bread, everybody needs bread every day. Okay? If you're selling your cake, your bread, and everybody is walking into your bakery to buy your bread, and you're making 50 naira in a whole day, and everyone is walking in and out, can you imagine how much you will make? So I don't usually like to tell people, charge this amount, charge this amount, charge it. Cake work is it's really about perception and value. So it's now your duty to learn your work in such a way that people don't price you like they're pricing pepper. Okay, if you're going to be doing if you spend a lot of time doing custom cake work, it's too laborious for you to charge low for that. And that cuts across for every kind of creative that is here today. In your office, which of your work takes so much time and energy for you to do? And just charge your worth and pay the tax. They should charge them tax and then your worth all in one. Okay, so I don't like to say put this figure, all right, but decide, especially with your financial advisor, your accounting department, they should be able to tell you this is exactly what we are going to make or what is needed to create this cake. And this is what you should charge. Okay?
Fantastic. Just to label, I honestly have taken notes now because every time in my head I have a number of products. My core business is selling real estate in America. That's my core business. And we're able to deliver real estate for people for between 30, 40 or 20% of the actual price because we buy it on auction. We buy properties on foreclosure. That's our main business. But it's real estate. It does take time, and for cash flow purposes, we also have trainings, which we created, Money Sales Academy, maybe a bit like the way you did Kicking All the Way, which gives us that cash flow that we need. And also good clients, a number of clients that take our courses, they end up becoming actually our course. So I like the way you simplified it. So your custom product or service, your signature product or service, and your mass product or service. So that was fantastic. I'm going to take 2-3 questions now. Another question that says, how do you get to build a serious network that helps to build your business away from home and from cold markets?
Can you take that question again, please?
All right, let me repeat that question. It says, how do you get to build your serious network that helps to build your business away from home and from cold markets? I think it's just talking about how you build your network.
Yeah, that's so nice of you to ask that question. For the longest time in my cake work, I was a home baker. But I did not allow that. A lot of people did not even know I was working from home because we began to focus on branding the business in a certain way. Okay, Dainty Affairs Bakery website is one of the very first websites in Nigeria that looks the way it is, and one of the very first e-commerce websites in Nigeria. So it's like your living room. If someone comes into your house, They already know whether they want to sit down and cross their leg. And when you ask them for, do you want to eat? They will either say, I'm fine, or yes, I don't mind. So your website, if you are a home baker, I would say this to you. Your family and your friends are not your customers.
Hey.
You need to look for Janet. Those are the people that will appreciate you. Your family, they will remind you of how you started. And they will tell you they don't have money. Okay? So your role now is to be able to get your clientele base from outside that bottleneck of your loved ones. See, it's until the world takes you seriously before your family and your friends take you seriously. That's why your friends are still going to bake cakes outside. Okay? It's when you have arrived, they will not be like, I know her. That's how she used to bake. We used to be her guinea pigs. She used to taste all her cakes. So you need to break that barrier. So even if you're working from home, can I have you kind of make that space in your house? Create a space, carve out a space in your house that you go into every day and you feel like you're going to your office. Right now, I'm in my husband's study. My children are not here disturbing me. So that's why I look serious. Can we have you, because I'm talking to people from different levels or in their businesses, can we have you look in your space, where around your house can you comfortably carve out that will really look like an office to you? Because if you just go into your kitchen, oh, I'm baking today, I'm baking today, you won't even take yourself seriously. So all these things we're doing, it starts in the mind. Wake up, dress up properly, I am going to my office. When you have this idea in your mind, you begin to, your expression changes. When people call you on your phone, are they still calling your one line or they are calling another line? That line, they can reach you so they can call you between morning and 10 p.m. or even 12 midnight. You are a business, you have a opening hour, you have a closing hour. Once that closing hour is up, you turn off your phone. You yourself need to be serious to yourself. Because if you don't take yourself seriously, nobody will. So it's until we started to, spend time, building our business brand, our operations, okay, that's really when people started taking us seriously. And because, like I mentioned to you, I wanted the Dainty Affairs brand to look a certain way. So I spent so much time, guys, so much time learning it myself. That's why I'm able to teach. If you come to me now, I want to do a website, I will take you through it. If you want to learn photography, I will take you through it. If you want to learn graphics design, I will take. It's just because I started my business doing a creative business that needed to show up a certain way so that I could attract the right. See, I always tell people, it's like a girl who wants to attract a nice looking guy. And you just go, you leave your house, your hair is untidy, you just look unkempt, you will attract the wrong person. So you need to see your business as a personality. What are the things you need to do about when people call you, do you just say, hello, yes, hi? If you call the Dainty Affairs Bakery, you'll be happy to even speak because the admin has been taught, hi, this is Dainty Affairs Bakery. How can I make your day sweeter? When you hear that already, if you call 10 people and you're upset, you already want to order with us. She has a special grace. She's very patient. Even down to the emails we send to customers is a template. We have written it down. So she sounds not like a computer, but she sounds very firm, very, very, very serious. Not, hey, what do you mean? Hey, okay, why, how? And if anybody calls back and says, oh, I have this negative feedback, we even have a way to respond to you when you've given us a negative feedback. Because for us as an online store, we need your feedback to let us know that the staff are doing what we have taught them. And so if someone calls and says, this is wrong, or this, it is our duty to correct that, not argue with them. Argue that what? Without them, you can't build your business. And you need to understand that more than anything else, words of mouth will carry you further than social media or internet can ever carry you. All right? So that is my response to that.
Wow, even I need to hear all of this, to be honest. This is just good stuff. It's so amazing. Somebody's asking, Lolade, I just realized that I have made the same mistake as you, taking on a loan in starting your business. How did you correct it? I handle this Dainty Affairs, okay?
How did I correct it?
Next topic should be not taking loans in the business.
I know, right? Do not take that loan. Oh, guys, so I'm brought up by a single mother, okay? And I saw my mom grow. My mom is a teacher, so she used to be a teacher at a government school. And by the age of 30, she had 5 children, and I'm her only daughter. She was already chased out of her husband's house. So she literally had to start from scratch. She had a school she was managing in the house then. Okay, so we had like a twin duplex. So the other side of the house, my father gave it to her to run the school. But when they sent her packing, they literally closed the school on her, you know. And I think I learned a lot from my mother. I saw her literally start her life afresh, and how she literally went from a nobody to somebody. So if you see her school today, it's 35 years old school. Last week, there were inspectors from the Lagos State Educational Department that came there to do like an impromptu inspection. They said they could not believe what they saw there. What I'm trying to say is that I've had the opportunity to learn a lot from my mother, seeing her grow organically. My mother hates taking loans, hates. So if you come to the school where she built organically without any mentor, without any coach or anything, you will marvel at what she has done. So what I remember her doing is she grew organically. So the school educational facility is like a quad. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I saw how the very first structure she built was it's a 2 step. So she first of all built the first one. In fact, it was an uncompleted building, but for some reason people came. So the money she made from that, she used it to raise the second floor. The money she got from that, she used it to get this side. The money she got from that, that's how the school was literally completed. So how did I manage my loans? Unfortunately, I had to run the cost of paying the loan. So there was a season in my life that every single money coming in was servicing a debt. Okay? And that's where support comes in. I had the support, even if they couldn't give me money, at least they will encourage me. Lolade, this time, make sure you pay it. Okay? And there was a time I was able to get a lump sum from my family, and I was able to just pay the debt outrightly. So who is your support system? Do you have people you can, tell what you're going through, okay, that can bail you out so that at least you finish paying that financial house and then you're now thinking of a loved one? So think about all these dynamics, all right? So, that's how I was able to manage. And since then, guys, I've just not taken any loan because that experience beat me really bad. And I just don't want to be in that position anymore. So like I mentioned, for everything we've had to do, we save. If I cannot afford it at that time, it doesn't mean I can't afford it tomorrow. We save up. So we have a very strong saving culture. So in fact, when we're being paid, there's a certain amount that we can't touch. That amount should go into that account. There's an account for taxes. There's an account for salary. There's an account for daily running, petty cash. There's an account so that when all this money is going to that account, at the end of the day, you can say, oh, this is what is for me, or this is what I can spend. Am I disciplined enough? Not very much, but again, that is where our financial department comes. They tell us when they do our books in a year or in a month, they tell us, oh, this is what you have taken in, and this has to be returned. And that is why it's also good to have people who you respect, okay, know about what you're doing and all whatnot, because that way they can also advise you or tell you things you can do. There's a platform now, like Raya just said, they're going to be teaching on this platform how to get grants. Me, as I am like this, I want grants. I don't even want loan. I want grants. If you can give me grants, I will take. Okay, but to go and borrow money, I am not doing it. Oh, gosh.
Amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much. I think that we've definitely kept you much longer than we were thinking we will, but it was too much information. You see, the truth of the matter is that I always say you can Google anything, but there's certain things that you just have to learn at the feet of people that have gone ahead of you. It doesn't matter whether it's a cake entrepreneur and you're into financial services. It does. Information is universal. There are things that you learn from everybody. I learned things from my little 4-year-old daughter, let alone an entrepreneur. So when I grow up, remind me, I want to be like you. I will and do so many things. Thank you so much for impacting knowledge. And I have plenty of notes that I've taken today. I'm going to put it online, and we're going to make this video and this recording available to everyone that dropped their email. We're going to send it around. Listen to it. I'm going to listen to it again. There's just something about learning from people. I'm not a big believer of necessarily getting an MBA to do a business. I think it's academic. I want to learn at those that have gone ahead of me. And thank you so much. You've been in business much longer than I have, and too much to learn. So those of us that want to take loan for our businesses to start or to scale up, when I'm not saying don't do it, but be extremely careful. See whether or not you and someone can go into you can contribute together. I don't know. Just be careful, because I have done it, and it was one of the things that nearly crippled me. It's sweet to take, but bitter to pay.
Yes.
Bitter to pay. And lastly, my word for you all, my co-entrepreneurs, is I don't know what stage your business is, whether you're just getting started, whether you're started and you're about to scale up, just show up, will you? It's the easiest advice and the most difficult to adhere to. Show up. Show up with your best efforts. Show up with your best spices, like Lolade. Just show up. Whatever it is you want to do, just start. I started with one client, and then another person shows up, and then another person shows up. And before you know what, keep grinding, keep getting better. You don't even want to start up big, because when you start up big, your blind spots will show up big. Start one step at a time.
Yes.
We all, that's the thing about us. We're so much in a hurry. We want to do great things and big things, and we want to start big. You don't want to, no. All those things, they're things you have to learn. Thanks so much for you to learn. Just start where you are, okay? And then little by little by little by little, you get better. There's nothing like a good organic growth. When I was at Dangote, the Africa's wealthiest man, the one advice that he had for entrepreneurs, he said, start small and think big. I ignored that advice before, but it's one of the advice I give to people, that look, the most important advice I can give to you, start small, think big, grow organically, and as you grow up, you will get better. Trust me. Let me see if I have any 1 or 2 comments. Yes, thank you so much for such an insightful. Okay, thank you, Ifoma. Thank you, Adebusola. 123 Solutions. You've been very active. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Like I said, you're all most welcome to join the Shamemoney community. Let me leave my number there if you have any questions. I'd love to hear from you. This is my WhatsApp number, by the way. Don't call me directly on it. You probably won't get through to me because I'm roaming and it doesn't just always work. So that's my number. If you want to reach out to me, you want to join us. This is what we do. We discuss, we help each other, and everybody needs a community. I mean, a lot of you said it. You needed mentorship when you got started. Everybody needs a community to voice, to talk to speak to. I mean, I hear people call me every day for one counseling or one mentorship or one coaching or the other. And the only reason why I have something to give is because I had to learn not much the easy way. So we all need each other. No one can do it, whether you're in a cake industry. Listen, the world will have you believe that you're in competition with each other. We're not in competition with each other. There's so much to earn. There's so much to learn. We need each other, And thank you so much, again, Lolade, for showing up. Thank you, everyone that has shown up today. This is going to run every month for the next 6 months. It is really for in-house. I thought to throw the first one to everyone. If you do want to learn more about this, join our community. We just share stuff and talk about stuff and pray together. That's what we do. So it's been a wonderful evening. Definitely you can reach out to Lolade on Dainty Affairs on Instagram. You can check our website, daintyaffairs.com. And until next month, Thank you so much for joining us. This is what we are. This is what we do. Entrepreneurs helping each other. Thank you so much. If you have any comments, you can unmute yourself, speak up. Otherwise, thank you for joining us. Thank you so much, Lolade.
Good night.
Our champion hero.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.